Hello, people! Tony here, and welcome back to TTBurger Game Reviews, and we are continuing my Bloody Roar series review with episode 125, which is in 4 parts. And today we're on episode 125, part 3 of 4. But before we get started here with this episode, let's take a little TTBurger recap from the last part to show you all what you missed, which was episode 125, part 2 of 4, where I took a look at Bloody Roar 2 for the PlayStation 1, also known as Bloody Roar 2, the new breed, or Bloody Roar 2 Bringer of the New Age and stuff, and gave it a perfect 10 because everything about that game was improved from its predecessor. Everything, the controls, the graphics, the storyline, everything was improved perfectly, and Hudson did a fantastic job with it, definitely. But now we're going to go to the next generation of game with the 6th generation with the PlayStation 2 and stuff, where we're going to talk about Bloody Roar on the PlayStation 2, and I'd like to give a shout out to YouTube user Black Healer, who I found out who was a big fan of Bloody Roar as well. So Black Healer, I hope you enjoy. And we got the next episode, part 3 of 4. We're going to look at Bloody Roar 3 for the PlayStation 2. And what is there to say about Bloody Roar 3 for the PlayStation 2? For the first Bloody Roar game for the PlayStation 2, it's a great game. It's definitely a great game. But the previous game was better. Bloody Roar has some things that it deproves on, but also improves on a lot of things as well. But I will say right now it's going to get a lower rating than Bloody Roar 2 did, so I'm just saying there. It's still a great game. In fact, it's the second best game in the Bloody Roar franchise. It's not mediocre like the first game itself, so I'd say it's better than the first game, but isn't as good as the second game, I'm saying. But let's get started here. The story of Bloody Roar 3 takes place several years after Bloody Roar 2, where an odd phenomenon is spreading among zoanthropes where strange crests appeared on their bodies, making them extremely powerful, and some of them are dying because of these crests and such. Other zoanthropes fear that they will die and decide to go find out who is behind the mysterious crests without knowing who it is. The story is darker than the other 2 stories, but the problem is, aside from the instruction manual, there isn't much story in the game. You basically have when you pick a character, you have the title scroll that scrolls up, and then you got still images and such of talking about the characters, and then you go to the ending where it's just still images as well. And I know YouTube user scxcr mentioned this too, but there's barely any interaction between the characters and stuff, and I just had to point out there, I give credit to scxcr for that, and it's just not, it just more could have been done than it is the thing, because you had a great story mode for the second game. You could have improved more here, but unfortunately that's not the case at all. I mean, I don't mind that they still use still images, but there could have been more for story and stuff. I mean, it's just like that, with leap to next generation consoles, I was hoping that they could do more, have 3D cutscenes with voice editing and stuff, trying to improve it there, but that's just me though, and it just feels lacking to me, but I'm just saying. Now for the presentation, the game's graphics look great. For a game released in 2001 for the PlayStation 2, the graphics look great. You got crisp character models with great facial animations. Backgrounds look colorful and full light. Also, the lighting looks great too. And the frame rate is once again very smooth. There's still no slowdown whatsoever. So to this day, the graphics still hold up and look great. I mean, sure, they're not gonna look as crisp as like a PlayStation 4 game or a PS3 game and stuff, but still, it still holds up for me, definitely, at least first time, because that's what it was. It's just good graphics, definitely. Now for the sound, let's talk about the sound here. Awesome music once again. This time there's only one soundtrack, so you don't get that arcade or console soundtrack. It's the same soundtrack, the whole thing, and it's a lot of kick-ass guitarists here too. My favorite song, that's a tough one. Probably the Sea Fortress stage song is my favorite, definitely. The voice setting is still a hit or miss, and while it has improved and stuff, it's still one of those hit or miss cases. That is, you can hear the voice setting because it doesn't come in very loudly is the thing. So that's just me there. And the other sounds are good, but they use the same grunts and such in the beast form since the first game, and it was kind of getting a little stale and repetitive at the time, definitely. For the gameplay here, best part of Bloody Roar 3. In this review, I will once again be playing as 4 out of the 14 playable characters, the same ones used in my Bloody Roar 2 review. Jean Gatto, aka Sheena the Leopard Zonto from France, Jenny Patori, the Bat Zoanthrope from Great Britain, Yuriko Nonomura, the Half-Beast Zoanthrope from Japan, and then you got Alice Sugagami, the Rabbit Zoanthrope from Japan. The gameplay is very fun and enjoyable and challenging for the most part. The Beast Drive that was in the previous game is here once again, and it's just as fun to use in this game. You also have the Hyper Beast Drive that you can use when your Beast Charge meter is full, and it'll make you stronger and faster for about 12 seconds. And of course, once it runs out, you can't use Beast form ever again. But still, it's a fun thing to have here, definitely. The game has quite a bit of modes once again, but it feels a little short on content compared to Bloody Roar 2 because there aren't as many modes as last time. This time, arcade mode is the story mode. Like I mentioned before, there isn't much story aside from the still images is with text and the instruction manual and stuff. And I know I mentioned it earlier, but I'm just saying. I mean, you do still have a handful of modes. It's just a little shallow compared to the last game, is what I mean. And the opponent in AI feels more balanced this time, sure, but it still has some balancing issues where they can just like keep attacking you over and over. I mean, it's still a fun game. It just won't be getting as high of a score as the last part was and stuff like that. I mean, it's still gonna get a good score. It's just it's not. It could have been done with it. Like I mentioned, it is the second best game in the Bloody Roar franchise. So my final thoughts here are: if you're looking for some Bloody Roar action on the PlayStation 2, then I still definitely recommend this game. It's still a fun, kick-ass fighting game, and definitely worth it if you want to play some more Zoanthrope action. Now, due to the complaints I have with this game, the score I'll be giving it is probably an 8.5 out of 10, because more could have been done with it, but it's still a fantastic game to definitely play and such, definitely. And that's pretty much it for episode 125, part 3 of 4. Stay tuned for the next part. This is the final part. I'll be looking at Bloody Roar 4. Now, how does this game fare? You'll have to find out. And I know that like I mentioned before, that there's Bloody Roar Primal Fury on the GameCube and Bloody Roar Extreme for the Xbox, but they're the same game. Like I mentioned, I don't have those games, so I can't play them and stuff. Or take a look at them. But I'm just saying that it was a great game and stuff, and if you want some Bloody Roar on your Xbox and GameCube, pick it up definitely. But for episode 125, part 4 of 4, we're going to look at Bloody Roar 4. That's pretty much all I got to say. This is Tony. Peace out, and have a great day, and see you all in the final part.